Today we're going to talk about living on a pension in Australia. Can I really make it work? Every month I sit down with my budget, balancing rent, groceries, bills, and the unexpected costs that seems to pop up out of nowhere. The question is, can I truly survive on what I receive? If you're in the same boat but just curious about what life on a pension actually looks like, stick around, because today I'm going to break down my monthly budget, share the reality of living on a fixed income, and talk about how I make it work. So first let's talk about the basics, how much I actually get per month in Australia. The pension varies depending on your circumstances. Whether you're single or partnered, renting or owning a home. For me, I receive around $1,300 per fortnight, so every 2 weeks, which should work out to be roughly around $2,600 per month. But it doesn't always work like that, because some payments that we get go into the following month. So it's like you get one payment and then 2 weeks later it's falling into the other month. So we have to really juggle a bit there. Now when you see that number, it may sound okay until you actually start to break down. So let's go through the biggest expenses, starting with the rent. For most people living on a pension, rent is the biggest struggle. If you live in a capital city like Sydney or Queensland, I'm not sure how much about Queensland, but I know Sydney is very expensive. I'm in Melbourne, but I'm not in the city area of Melbourne. I'm more rural. It's nearly impossible to afford a private rental on a pension alone. That's why many pensioners look for government housing, community housing, share accommodation, or move to more affordable regional areas like 2 hours out of the city or whatever. For me, rent takes up about 70% of my fortnightly payment, which is every 2 weeks payment. 70%. Then comes utilities like electricity, gas, water, internet, phone bill. So even with pensioner discounts, these add up fast. I've had to learn how to be really mindful of energy usage. Simple things like turning off appliances when I'm not using them, and being, like with the heating and the cooling, making a difference. We are in summer right now, and we've had 30-40 degree heats, but I won't run the air conditioner. I just have my fan going, and I close all my blinds, keep the house really dark so it stays cool. But because this is a weatherboard house, and if we have 3 or 4 days of heat, then I'm in trouble, because it's very hard to cool the house down because it's only a weatherboard. So yeah, even with pensioner, like with the pension discounts, I still have to be careful where, like this, where I'm saving money, where with electricity and the water and everything. Next up is the groceries. Food prices are rising, and when you're on a pension, every dollar counts. I found that meal planning, shopping at Aldi's or local markets and cooking from scratch helps stretch my budget further. Apart from that, I live in an area where, like, if next door grows vegetables, I grow vegetables, I grow potatoes and everything. So we are always sharing. We're always giving each other a bag of potatoes or tomatoes, but not everybody's as lucky. to have people help. But we do have places where the farmers have an area where, you know, it's sort of like potatoes that can't go to the supermarket or whatever, you can actually go to the farmer's market and buy. So, you know, it's like you do when you go like to the shopping. I mean, you do look for the discounts and everything. You're more careful, I guess, with your spending, especially when you're all alone. You know, you're not answerable to anybody. So, yeah. But where it gets tricky is when there are unexpected expenses, like cars, repairs, medical bills. Although pensioners, we don't have to pay to go see a doctor because our Medicare, we have a Medicare card and that's paid for. But if you go to see a specialist, yes, you've got to pay up front, and then Medicare gives you like I think it's 80% back or something like that. Even replacing something that's broken, like an appliance or something, you know, these are the things that can really throw off a budget when you're living on a fixed income. So I've tried to set aside for a little bit, for a while now, I've tried to set aside a little bit emergency fund each month. But lately, for the last 6 months or something, I haven't been able to do that. So it's not always possible. That's why the government gives subsidies and concessions and programs designed for pensioners. And that is so important, especially with people who take medications and things, you know. We've got, when you're a pensioner, you get like benefits you get rental assistance, you get discounted transport, you get medical benefits, and your medication you can buy on PBS scheme, which is like you pay $6 or $7 or something for one prescription. Doesn't matter what your medication is. I personally don't take any medications, praise God, but yeah, so for the people that do, like my mother was taking, when she was, she's past now 2 months, but she was taking roughly around 20 tablets a day, and so her costs of medications were pretty high. Pardon me. So yeah, it's not easy. Every month is a balancing act, making sure I stretch my money as far as possible, while still trying to enjoy a little bit of what life has. Would I love to have more financial freedom? Absolutely. That's why I explore new ways to supplement, you know, my pension. Like I sculpt out of cement, like I make toadstools and I make all sorts of stuff, and I do take it to the market, you know, and I make a little bit of money there, which keeps my head above water. So even building, I've been trying to build my YouTube channel that I'm talking to you on. You know, it is hard work. It is, you know, when you only get maybe 10 views or 20 views on one of your video, it is disheartening. But I know that I have to be persistent and consistent in putting up videos, because there are a lot of people out there just like me, you know, who are struggling, who are trying to make ends meet. Even if my YouTube channel gets monetized, at least I know that there'll be a small little income coming in. I don't want millions, you know, just to get by, you know. Can't take it with you. So, yeah, so if you can support me, you know, and subscribe and leave a comment and, you know, hit the notification bell for me, you know, for more content, sort of like living alone, you know, and budgeting and making the most of life, you know. And yeah, you know, we are, all of us at this age are on the same path, in the same direction, and it's awesome that I know that somebody is there at the side of me, listening to me and saying, shit, I'm going through the same thing. Sorry. Yeah, so, you know, let's support each other, you know. And I'll see you in the next one.